Hello there, what is going on everyone? Today we are talking about StarCraft the Miniatures Game from Archon Studios that is coming out this year. There has been a lot more information since the last time we've done a StarCraft video, and there's so much more, including starter sets, pre-order dates, contents of the box, and everything. I wanted to kind of catch everybody up on everything that you need to know about this game that is going to be very exciting, coming out here in just a few months. So it's a very cool time if you're a StarCraft fan, just a science fiction fan in general, and especially a miniature tabletop wargaming fan. This is a exciting time. So let's go ahead and talk about this. But first, I do want to let you guys know we are doing another round of the giveaway for a $25 Amazon gift card. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my other videos. That'll enter you to win. We're going to be announcing the winner in February at the end of one of my videos, so make sure you watch all the way to the end. And let me know your thoughts, what you're excited about in the comment section below. Also, what are some of the StarCraft units that you want to see in this game show up? Because there's a lot that they've shown us so far. There's a whole lot more that we haven't seen yet, and they do plan on doing pretty much everything. So with that, let's just cover some of the basis. What is StarCraft the Miniatures Game? Well, it is a miniature skirmish game that you are going to build an army. You'll face off against somebody else's army, and you'll have a point limit. The standard game is going to be a 2,000 point, but for a full-size game, but there is also going to be different size games, for example, 1,000 points or smaller or even larger. It is, again, a miniature war game, a skirmish game, about 40 millimeter bases, where, you know, very comparable to other games, similar to the size of things like Warhammer or Star Wars Shatterpoint, or in that kind of size of miniature. This game was unveiled at Essen, where they had a whole lot of stuff. They will also be at Adepticon. Probably will have starters there, although that's not 100% confirmed, but probably. So if you are going to Adepticon this year, bring some extra suitcases so you can bring some stuff home, or you have some storage space, or maybe ship some things home. Make sure you have room in your bags for stuff, because you're probably not going to want to miss out on this. Also, Founders Edition, we're going to talk about this. Very cool stuff. Great value, too. One of the other cool things about this game that's going to make this one unique and stand apart from a lot of other miniatures lines and other tabletop war games is the fact that they're going to have different types of plastic on their sprues. They're going to be able to assemble all of these sprues. They have different colored per faction, but also there's going to be transparent plastic. Archon uses a lot of this transparent plastic, and this will be certain parts of different models. You'll see like certain energy parts, of course, you know, the Protoss with their energy blades, but a lot of the Terrans will have parts that have energy that are going to be showing off, that you can sort of leave as this transparent plastic to provide this really cool effect, or you can paint over it if you'd like as well. It primes and paints just like normal plastic. So that's another thing that's very cool. Another thing is that this is a game where you're kind of half of your army starts in reserve, so you don't run the risk of kind of getting beaten on the first round. It's definitely not over until it's over. This is a game where you're going to be using deployments, and as people die, it frees up your supply, which kind of makes it a little bit more similar to the video game, right? You're going to free up supply as units are eliminated and removed from the board, and then you can kind of redeploy and call in your reinforcements, which is that other half of your army. And certain factions will be able to use certain things that are thematic from the game, where it's like Zerg tuttling in from a Nidus worm, or Protoss, you know, calling in, warping in guys, from a pylon. There's a lot of cool things like that that are thematic within the game, and ways for you to get reinforcements back onto the board. Now, if you are a gamer that does not like to paint, if you are not a painter, there is still options. There's still a lot of cool things for you in this game. And one of those things is the fact that these different armies are coming in different colored plastic. So you will still be able to just assemble them and still play without that, and you'll still have definitely the different colored stuff. This could potentially get complicated if you're doing like Protoss versus Protoss or something like that. But they are doing colored plastic per army. So if you just want to kind of build them and go, or if you want to at least put just a wash on them, you can at least get that detail and still have your colored plastics there. And as a matter of fact, you can see in some of these examples that we've got here from their recent AMA stream, you can see some of the different, transparent plastic effects. Like the Zerg have the kind of slimy stuff, and the Protoss have their energy weapons. We're looking at Jim Raynor over there. He doesn't have any of that stuff going on with him. But also you'll have heroes that have hero bases, and then you have normal characters that have normal bases. The bases are also going to come magnet ready, which is also a very cool thing. So again, they've taken a lot of thought and put a lot of improvements into the wargaming experience into this game. Now, granted, I plan on painting all of these, so I'm not going to have that. But there is also an interesting concept on if you want to do sub-assembly paints. If you're an advanced hobbyist, there's a lot of really cool options for you with this game, and we're seeing some of those here. If you want to kind of pre-paint first and then put some of your special effects in afterwards, you can totally do that, or you can do a combination of all of the above, which is a very cool thing. Now, there is also beta is launching. If you have been following this game, they are doing beta testing. They're getting ready to ship out beta kits here like this week. Beta rules should be going online in February. So again, beta testers, it's going to be a short beta period because the game is getting ready to launch in March. Pre-orders launch in March, and I think they're looking to have shipments out in April, which should potentially align, or could, I should say, potentially align with Adepticon. There's a pretty good chance that they'll have some stuff available at Adepticon, whether or not they have all of the starters there, or just have some, like they've had the Zeratol promo and stuff like that. You may be able to get things like that at their setup at Adepticon. Either way, you'll definitely want to check out the Archon booth at Adepticon, because last year they had a lot of really cool stuff to show off on all the different projects they were working on, and I'm sure this year they're going to have plenty of cool, because again, they do a lot of other miniature lines and games, but I think StarCraft is going to be a very popular attraction on the exhibitor hall this year. It's going to be a fun one. You probably won't want to miss it. Okay. Let's talk about starters, because this is the big thing, right? There are a lot of details that they gave us about the starter boxes. There are going to be a Founder Edition for both the 2-player starter, which is going to be Zerg versus Terran. There's also eventually going to be non-Founder Editions, regular versions of the starter. But one of the key differences is Founder Edition gives you tremendous savings, also gives you lots of extra stuff, and is a 2-player starter. It's like a game in a box. It's 2 1,000-point armies that you can play straight away. Now, a full game will be 2,000 points, but a 1,000-point game is going to get you playing. Think of it as, just like most games tend to do. You get a kind of a smaller scale army, but it's still a 1,000-point army, and it's a lot of miniatures that you're seeing right here. So a full game would probably be about twice this size. Although it remains to be seen if 2 starters alone will get you a full 2,000 points, considering you're getting heroes like Kerrigan and Jim Raynor in this box. So you're not going to get, if you won't be able to necessarily duplicate 100% of the pieces in here if you buy 2 starters, but still the value alone in this 2-player starter, if you were to buy everything piecemealed individually, it would be about $400 MSRP. And they're aiming for this 2-player starter to cost $199. Now, $199 is a little bit high for some players, but keep in mind with the cost of most army starters, you're getting 2 army starters in here, plus a lot of extra stuff. Let's talk about what you're getting in here. You're also getting terrain, you're getting dice, range sticks, a play mat. It's going to be a big box, too. A big, and they've said very heavy box, too. So first off, any starter box that gives you terrain is very, very cool. A playmat, the range rulers, dice, tokens, all of that stuff. You're also going to be getting, as far as like your Terran stuff, you're going to get 6 Marines with shields, 6 Marines without shields, 3 medics, a Rainer, a defense drone, Marauders, 2 Marauders. And then for your Zerg, you're getting Kerrigan, you're getting 18 Zerglings, 6 Raptors, 3 Roaches, a Queen, a Nidus Worm, and then all of the stuff we talked about as well. So a lot of really cool stuff in this box. Now, we have also seen a lot more You've probably seen like Hydralisks and Goliaths and things like that. And all stuff is coming as well. There's a timeline we're going to talk about for that. But a big thing with this Founders Edition, this isn't going to be available forever. This is something, again, you want, pre-orders are opening up in March, although you may also be able to pick this up at Adepticon, potentially. But if you want to guarantee it, you'll want to pre-order it online. There's also going to be a Protoss version as well, and the Protoss version is coming with, is going to have 4 Adepts, 6 Zealots, 2 Sentries, a Pylon, Artanis, also dice and tokens, and which isn't shown here as these force fields, which are kind of large like domes that, of course, you know that some of these guys can project or block out areas. There's a lot of really cool stuff that the sentries can do in the video game, so I can't wait to see how they actually play on the tabletop game, which is also going to be very exciting. Now, this one is going to be about 109 MSRP, which is again a whole army starter for $100. It's a pretty good price, pretty standard, but again, brand new game also, and you're getting that big old pylon looks really cool. You're getting also with the Protoss. They have said that Protoss would probably be one of the easiest factions for new players that are newer to wargaming because they're kind of elites, right? That reflects their playstyle in the video game. They're also going to have the fewest activations, fewest model count, so fewest things for you to keep track of as a new player. All of these are set to come out in the same time as well. So this is going to be, you can get all 3 for a little over $300. So I think it'd be like 308 MSRP. So yeah, they've also given us a timeline of other things that are coming. Now, I want to point out they have said that they're pretty much going to do everything that we've seen, both from StarCraft 2 and going back to StarCraft 1 Brood War. There are things that and there's not a whole lot of stuff from Brood War that never showed up in StarCraft 2, but there are a couple of things, and some things like Dragoons, for example, weren't really like a spammable unit in StarCraft 2, but there were like hero Dragoons and like stuff like that. So like you can still justify stuff even if you were doing only StarCraft 2, but they're going to do StarCraft 1 stuff also. But yes, there's a timeline of everything. There's going to be heavy supports coming out in June, a Wave 1, a Wave 2 planned for August. Now, this is pretty fast deployment for a new game. They have a narrative campaign. They have flying units coming out in October, and then ground and classic and another hero in December. A lot of that. There's going to be an app, an army builder app, in addition, separate from the beta app that is available to beta testers. There's going to be an army builder app, and they can adjust points and things like that, and then any errata if needed. So as kind of typical as you expect from a lot of games that will have an app. Some companies do apps, some companies don't do apps. They're going to be doing an app for all of this. It looks very exciting. There's a lot of stuff coming. There's a lot of really cool stuff that they showed us and previewed, and it looks really cool. I'm looking forward to it. It doesn't look like it's going to take forever, but I like the fact that this game is kind of puts half of your stuff in reserve. You're not going to kind of get wiped out in one single turn. It seems like it's kind of impossible for that to happen, and that does happen in certain other games where one bad turn just means it's over. And I think that's something that this game's going to offer that other games don't, which is a very cool thing. Also, this is probably a good time to get into a StarCraft game right now, because StarCraft is getting ready to come back in a major way. There is a lot of rumors going around that Blizzard is announcing a new StarCraft shooter game at BlizzCon this year. If so, that means StarCraft is getting ready to be very popular. Not only has Archon said they already have a 9-year plan based on everything that's out right now, right? Like, there's a lot of units that they can make. There's a lot of different stuff that they can do. They're planning on doing sub-factions. There's going to already be a plan to do that. If you're running like Raynor or Kerrigan or Artanis, they have a way you can run like vanilla Terrans or Raynor's Raiders. Think of like a battle force or a sub-faction. All of that stuff is stuff that they can do, right? So they have a huge plan for this, but with a new line of video games coming out from at BlizzCon for StarCraft, there's going to be a lot of new stuff introduced as well. So I think we have a really big, long future for StarCraft. And as the IP grows in popularity, it's going to mean that your miniatures game is going to become more popular. There's going to be more people that want to play it, more people that are maybe like, you know, you got a lot of veteran players, veteran PC gamers that have had access to this stuff forever, but now new players are coming in. It's going to be very exciting. So I think this is a great time to get in. You're going to save a ton of savings if you get this this awesome Founders Edition. So I'll be looking at it. I can't wait. If you're interested in StarCraft, you're in the right place. I'm going to be covering it. We're going to be talking more about it and building armies and painting and battle reports and all that cool stuff. But let me know some of your favorites. What are some things that you want to see in this game? I think siege tanks are a very popular one. I can't wait to see those. Stalkers are probably going to be a whole lot of fun. Archons, I mean, the studio is called Archon, right? There have always been StarCraft fans, so I think they're going to do this game a lot of justice. It's going to be a very exciting time. Let me know your thoughts. Gosh, I love the Protoss, though. I think the Protoss are going to be like where it's at for me. I don't know. I'm going to have a little bit of everything. But I think the Protoss are going to be the #1 faction. I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see. All right, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I will talk to you guys later. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this whole channel possible. I'll talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. My life for ire. And always wash your socks.